Hi, welcome to Charter Oak Fiberworks. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, and all things fibery here in New England where I live with my family. We're going to have some interruptions because I didn't tell the kids that I was podcasting this morning, so they'll probably walk in. I'm Claire, or Clarissa, but most people call me Claire. You can find me on Instagram as Clarissa Jo Knits, and on Ravelry as Clarissa. I'm much more active on Instagram, so you'll be able to find me there where you'll be able to stay updated on everything I do and everything I'm making and where I've been and stuff like that. I have not been very active lately. It has been kind of a crazy, whoops, sorry, I messed with my thing here. We'll go with that. It's kind of been a crazy time for me. It is, I've been helping at camps. I have been getting ready for my kids to start school. And so now that things have kind of calmed down, we went camping, stuff like that. So I'll talk about all of that later on at the very end of the episode, so you don't have to stick around and listen to me talk the whole time. Okay. Let's get into things. I don't think I forgot anything, but welcome to everyone who is new to my podcast. It's good to have you here. And it's big thank you to everyone who keeps coming back to watch. It makes me really excited that you keep coming back to watch me just talk about my progress and what I've been knitting and everything like that. So thank you. Okay, so my one finished object is that I made the tincture hat by Andrea Mowry for my friend Sarah, which last time it was on my to-do list. I got around to making it. It is done with mosaic knitting. That's how the color work is done. All of these are carries up, slip stitches that carries up the yarn to make the color work as you do the rows. It was really cool to make. Let's see, no floats. It was cool to make. It was easy to make, fast knit. I think I did one extra round of the repeats so that there are 4 instead of 3, so that it would be nice and, see how slouchy it is, nice and slouchy. The yarn I used is Ella Rae's Cozy Alpaca. It's a 70-30 acrylic alpaca, so it has this like butteriness to it when you touch it. It feels amazing. It feels so good. And yeah, that's my hat for Sarah. It's finished, but I love it so much because, as you can see, it's in mustard, which I love mustard. So I cast on my own using the rest of the yarn that was left over from it. I used size 5s for the ribbing and size 7 for the main body of the hat. And it is, I took out 16 stitches because I knit quite loose, so I've learned that with the wood needles, I actually knit quite a bit looser. So to make up for that, I just adjusted instead of adjusting the needle size, because I wanted it to be a little bit more. I wanted to be pretty drapey fabric for the hat. I didn't want it to be stiff, and so I just kept the same needle size and went down to casting on 96 stitches instead of whatever she says to do. So that's my hat. So I'll match Sarah. We'll match. Yeah, so there's my only FO this week. I only have one. It's been crazy, like I said. And my first whip. Okay. My next one is my August socks for my box of socks, which is a knit along with Kristen from Wool and Vine Yarns, or the Yarngasm podcast. So she does a year knit along where you try to knit 12 pairs of socks in the year, and you put them in a box, and then at the beginning of the next year you have a whole box of socks, brand new, ready to wear, to choose from. So I was last year I kind of got into a sock knitting kick. It's a really good way for me to kind of use up the fingering weight, or to get fun, bright colors that I wouldn't normally wear. Sorry, that was a weird, like, try to get my hair out of my face, but it's not, it's all pulled up today. Yeah, try to get like some colors I wouldn't normally wear as like a shawl or anything like that, but to be able to put them in socks and to be able to buy those super fun, like kind of punchy neon colors and stuff. So my socks for August, which I have not finished yet, which does not make me behind in my box of socks yet because I have a November sock done, but I'm kind of pushing it. These will be done today. I'm going to knit them at church, and I'm at the foot. Oh, sorry. I'll get back to that. Okay. So I just had some vanilla socks because I knew that in August I would be really busy and I wanted something I could just knit on and not think about. So they're just a pair of vanilla socks. They're in the colorway River Rock, which is a Knit Picks Felice colorway. So if you'll notice, something happened in this dye, because I've never seen Felice not just be these big stripes, right? And then this happened, and then it started over at the gray again instead of having this whole repeat up here, right? So I thought that was kind of weird, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna undo my whole sock at this point. It's just gonna have to be that way, and whatever happens, happens, right? Because I do top down. So I had already done all of this when I got to here. I'm not undoing that. So these socks will stay like this. But I don't mind it. It was just kind of a weird where I was just like, what is happening to my Felice sock yarn? But the weird thing about it, oh, this colorway is River Rock. It's River Rock. The weird thing about it is that it has done the same thing on my other sock too. I don't know, I guess I can't complain. It makes it easier for me because I only measure when I make Knit Picks Felice socks, I only measure for one sock. And then for the second sock, I just follow the striping pattern. So I just go down, and then when I got to this like dark greenish, I did one more thing and then started the hill, and then when I got through the hill part, then I went to the light blue. Does that make sense? So then I'll knit all the way down until I get to this next darkish green section, and then I'll start decreasing for my toe until I get to a little bit of the light blue, and then I'll Kitchener stitch it close, right? Does that make sense? So I only measure for one, so I'm kind of glad. So my socks will still match in a weird, I don't know what happened way. So let me tell you a little bit about how I knit my socks. I follow a sock recipe that I have adjusted over my 8 pairs of socks that I've made to fit the way that I like them to fit. So I cast on 52 stitches at the top with a size 0 needle. And when I cast on, I hold 2 needles together so I get a very loose cast on, so it'll fit. But then my ribbing will be nice and tight on my leg. I don't like my socks to slouch at all, but I do like the fabric of my socks to be drapey. I don't like it to be very dense. I know other people really like to knit their socks nice and dense so that they last longer. I just don't like the feel of that. So I knit the rest of my socks in a size 2 needle all the way down. For my leg is usually 5 to 6 inches of leg. For the Knit Picks one, I actually do a full, like the full color sequence. Sorry, my husband sent me a message, so I read it on my phone. Sorry. So I do a full color stripe, and then when it repeats, that's when I add my heel in, and then I do my heels, just a heel flap, and then my gusset happens here. Gusset down till I get 52 stitches again, then 52 stitches down to the end. Decrease for the toe. I think it's called a rounded toe, but I decrease once on this side, knit all the way around, decrease here, decrease again, knit the rest of the way, decrease, then I do a round with no decreases until I have 1.5 inches of decreasing going on here. I think 1.5 inches, maybe just 1 inch. No, 1.5 inches of decreasing, and then I Kitchener it closed. So that's my sock recipe basically, but my sock recipe has like a whole measure yourself 1 inch down so that you can so that they're stretchy on your foot so it doesn't fit perfectly. Then your gauge, how many stitches equals your gauge equals how many stitches to cast on. Oh, how many stitches in 1 inch times that number of inches around is how many you cast on, and then it gives you a whole bunch of the other stuff. So yeah, so I just do the sock recipe and then I adjust it for whoever I'm making socks for, which this year has been nobody but me. That's not true. I have knit 2 pairs for Brian, for my partner, but the rest of them have been for me. No kid sock knitting this year or anything, just all for me. So socks, Knit Picks Felicia yarn. I love it. And they're such good vanilla socks because they keep me motivated to keep going. And I am going to take a moment here to undo my sock from my sock blocker so that it can go back into my bag because I need to know when to stop decreasing. So there's that. Okay. This is the project that I am most excited for right now. It is my sweater, tee, crop tee, I don't know what. I guess it's a tee, it's a crop tee for India Entangled, which I have my tickets for Rhinebeck. Super excited to be going Friday to India Entangled, and I am making the Tanya by Caitlin Hunter, or Boyland Knitworks is her designing company, I think, or her name on there. Anyway, Caitlin Hunter. So this is the Tanya. Everyone's been making this. It's a cropped tee, short sleeves. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have it in color. There are tons, everyone's making it, and I jumped on that bandwagon, but I have to make some adjustments because I've been going a little bit rogue. Okay. So the yarn I'm using, do you ever have so many things in your bag? The yarn I'm using is from Fuse Fiber Studios, and they're in Avon, Connecticut, so they're pretty close to me, which is awesome that I can go do it. I bought this for a shawl to go with this dress for a wedding. And look, it even shows up darker on here. I don't know if I get close. There we go. It's actually, it's not as navy as it looks. It actually has a lot more jewel tone into the like bluish green. I don't even know how to describe it. This is, I get closer to that. See, it's still looking pretty navy. It's not that navy. I don't know how to capture that for you, which is what I thought it would be. Oh, that does a little bit better. I thought it would be navy. It's not. It didn't work, so it went into my stash, and I had 2 skeins of it. So I am about, they're $400 yard skeins. And I needed, to make my size, I needed 860 yards. I don't have that. I don't have another thing, but I knew that I needed to make the sweater out of this. So instead of making a large, I have bumped down to a medium, which I think is gonna be okay because the sweater calls for like 8 to 10 inches of ease, which is a lot. And I don't know if that would look good on me. I've never worn anything with that much ease or really cropped. I don't wear a lot of cropped things either. So I jumped down a size, which needs 800 yards exactly, but well, maybe I'll make it this long. I was going to make it just a little bit shorter so that this lace ends right underneath my bust, or maybe an inch underneath my bust. Ollie, I'm recording a podcast. Okay. So I'm gonna shorten it just a little bit, and then when I get to the sleeves, I'm gonna take whatever's left of my skein and I'm going to weigh it, and then I'm just gonna split it evenly so that I have the same weight for each sleeve, and I'm just gonna go down until I either run out of yarn or until they're as long as I want. Anyway, I'm super excited. I'm going to wear it to Indian Tangled. I'm going to wear a black maxi dress underneath it. I think it'll look stunning. Anyway, I'm so excited. Let me show you how much I have done. I just finished the lace on Friday night while my partner and I were watching Frontier. It's a TV show with Jason Momoa in it. Anyway, there is the lace, and it'll block out. So pretty. So there we go. I'm on my way. I'm in forever and ever of stockinette on this, you know, when you get to that point. So, which is fine because the lace was getting a little bit tedious. Spoiler alert, she has knit 4 together in here in quite a few places, and those were slowing me down. I've never done so many knit 4s together, so that was quite slow for me. Sorry, I'm just gonna knit on it for a second while I talk to you. Okay, so anyway, that is my most exciting project, I think. I love it. I'm so excited. It doesn't look bad with well, on the screen it doesn't. I don't think it looks bad with my mustard. Maybe I'll wear my mustard hat to Indian Tangled. My tincture one with Andrew Mowry as a whole outfit of all the knitty things. Okay, anyway, so putting that away. Super excited. I think I'm going to get it done on time. I still have a little over a month to finish that up. So it is in my, I think this is an Erin Lane bag. Yes, Erin Lane bag. I love it. I love the feathers. It's one of those that I had to like stop and be like, oh, this is the bag. Add a thing. Okay, next thing, spinning. So I am spinning something that my FiberShare partner sent me. It is Happy Fuzzy Yarn. And it is 100% blue face luster wool, and the colorway is Jewel in the Water. Now unspun, it looks like this. I was playing Yarn Chicken, I guess it would be the equivalent of. Yarn Chicken on my bobbins, and so there are 1.5 bumps, battings, and no, I guess they're not battings because it's not a bat, but I have 1.5 bumps of these that did not make it onto my singles, and so are not in my stuff, but I think I might make them into a dryer ball or something because I love the color. So that's my color. It's 100% blue face luster, which I love BFL. And I've just taken it off my wheel, so it's on my knitting knotty now, but this is how it's spun up. And I have about 400 yards, 394 to be exact, yards of fingering weight BFL. Sorry, I have hiccups a little bit. So there are some parts I didn't put enough spin into my singles, and so while I was plying it, they were breaking, and then that made for a very like precarious. So you can kind of see some of my ends kind of hanging out in there, but there you go. Isn't that, I love this bright green in here against the blue and the darker green. And the blues and the darker greens are almost grayish, so that green just really, it just pops. So, anyway, I love it. I think it's going to be mittens for my son, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I don't want to make fingering weight mittens for my kids. Maybe I'll double it up, and so it'll be like a worsted or something. I love my kids, but they're hard on things. They're hard on my knitting. They're hard on all of my stuff. They're just hard on stuff, and so I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to make fingering weight things for them because those take forever, and then for them to either not wear them or not care or lose them or whatever. That's hurts me to my soul as a knitter, but it's okay because I have so much yarn and so many things I'm making. It's okay, right? It'll be okay. Tell me it'll be okay. All right. My next thing is a yarn ball that I made. If you remember last time I said I was going to meet with some friends for a birthday outing where we were going to go paint yarn bowls at the ceramic pottery place near us. Near us is half an hour away. Oh, we're not picky out here. We just drive wherever. So I made my yarn ball and I loved it. And I think that in the last podcast I showed a picture of me or a small video of me like painting it. Well, I got it back and they had dropped it. So they dropped my yarn bowl. So then they glued it back together and gave me a credit to come back and make another one. So there's my yarn ball. Anyway, there's my jellyfish. Isn't it cool? My camera's over here. I like it. I still like it. I think I'm still gonna use it. It just cracks me up because this is the second broken yarn bowl that I now have in my collection. I have another one that my sister-in-law's cousin, I think, she makes yarn bowls, and I broke off the tabby thing right here. So that's broken off, and then this one is a total glued together. I don't know, can you see in the middle there, my two big lines? There's one there and one here that you can like see through. So maybe yarn bowls are just not my thing. Maybe that's just like, I should just give up on even owning yarn bowls because clearly I was not meant to have one because this is the second broken one. So when I go back, I think I might make a mug or something different and just stop messing around with yarn bowls. All right, last thing, stash enhancement before I kind of blather at you about how busy I've been. I need to stop getting a drink after I announce something. I need to finish a previous thing, get a drink, and then be like, next thing. So next thing is stash enhancement. We'll try this again. Stash enhancement. I have not bought any yarn in the last 3 weeks. I just want it noted right here. I have not bought any yarn or any yarn tools or anything yarn related except my Rhinebeck ticket and pen. Anyway, besides that, no yarny things, and yet I have a bunch of yarn that has come into my stash. I can't stop. My first yarn is a gift from Annie, who had leftovers from her yarn, her Rhinebeck sweater, and gifted them to me, which is so nice. So they are Cascade Yarn 220 Superwash Effects. Look how pretty this is. And I already have a project in mind. I think I only need one skein, but she gave me 3. So they might be going back to her. Let's see, the colorway. I have no idea. Color is 09. So anyway, isn't it so fall? And let me tell you, today has been a beautiful fall day. Already, it's like 55 degrees outside. It's probably up to 60 or something now. But we have had 3 days in a row where it has felt like fall, which is a huge change because all last week it was like 100 degrees. None of the kids went to school for full days. Not my kids didn't go to school at all, but the public school kids, they did not go to a full day of school because it was too hot in a lot of the classrooms to do school. So, but it is starting to look like fall, and today I'm drinking just water with some strawberries in it, and it's like total tea hot chocolate day here. It's beautiful, and I did not take the opportunity. I think this afternoon we'll have hot chocolate and like watch our musical or something. Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, aren't these colors so deliciously fall? I'm going to make a cowl from Campfire Knitting. She just released a cowl that has all these different leaf patterns on it. So I'm going to do this. I've got to find kind of a burnt umbery color for it, and I'm going to make that cowl. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. And then she gave me this cute bag that says, keep calm and read on. Because she's a librarian and reading's awesome. Speaking of reading, I have read an awesome, crazy, crazy book lately. Okay, my next one is another gift, and this one is, come on, Amy, really? This is from my friend Amy. She has gifted me a whole bunch. She has, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, but I think you're not knitting as much as you used to, and so you're kind of passing a lot of your yarns on, right? So, unless you, yes, so she's passed on some yarn to me, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to see. Sorry, I'm trying to place these to see if any of them are the same colorway. Oh, dear. This may be bad. Okay, we're gonna put that gently to the side there. Here's another one. Oh, well, I know what I'm doing after this. Okay, none of them are the same colorways, so I'll just start going through them. So these are from her friend. I think all of them are. From her friend, JST for you, just for you, I believe is what it is. Just for you, and she hand spins everything, and they are just so beautiful. So here's this one, just for you. It is messy, it's a messy lock spin. I don't know the colorway. Bulky, it's bulky. Oh, the color is Baby Girl, and it looks like it's wool. USA plus locks plus some natural color in there. So 63 yards of this. I'm just going to tell you coloring. Tangerine Kiss. Look at that orange in there. So pretty. Pastel Rainbow. And these are all singles. There are a couple of plies in here, but these are all singles. Party Time. Lots of thick and thin. Neon Rainbow. Rainbow Sparkle. Ethereal. This one is a It's plied, but it's where it's spun loosely, and then there is thread wrapped around it to do this. Does that make sense? So that's what that is. And then there's this pink that doesn't have a tag and actually is kind of, I don't know what's going on, but I'm a little bit worried I'm gonna lose most of the yarn from that. And then a green that is a 2-ply that is also kind of a little bit of a mess in its hank here, and I'm hoping that I can salvage it. Anyway, thank you Amy and Annie for the wonderful gifts. They're so sweet. I am really excited to look through and make some things out of all this yarn, all this beautiful, beautiful yarn. Okay, well that's all of my knitting for this week, for this 3 weeks, month. Yeah, I am going to, oh my, that was a twist. I didn't expect to happen. Okay, sorry. I'm going to do this while I talk to you. All right, so what's been going on in my life? And you don't have to stick around for this. If you just want to know about knitting, you don't need to stick around and hang out with me just chatting about my life. But I have been helping at camps for the last month. I spent 5 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5.5 days because I didn't go up till Tuesday afternoon, evening-ish, 4-ish I left, at a girls camp for young women ages 12 to 18. I was helping by running the rock wall in the area. I am a BSA rock climbing instructor certified, so I got to go up and run the wall and do all of the rock climbing, and I just love that because I love to work with kids and especially young women to help them to do things they haven't had an opportunity to do before, to try something new, or just to get like a little bit uncomfortable and then watch themselves succeed. And I think that is one of the best things ever. So I had a great time there, and then I came home Saturday night. Sunday was kind of a normal day for me at church. I work with the 16 to 18-year-old young women in my ward. And then I helped, so I taught that, and then I helped in primaries, what we call the children, the younger children than 12. So I went and helped with the 7-year-olds in that for one of the hours too. Anyway, it was busy. It was a normal thing. So I didn't get like, I didn't get any sleep. I didn't get any extra sleep or a break that day. And then the next day I helped do some rock climbing and bouldering for the 8 through 11-year-old girls camp. And then I got to do cub camp with my son for the whole time that he was up there. From Wednesday through Friday, I ran, my partner came up and he did the bouldering with the boys, and I did low ropes course. I did a copes course with the kids. So that was my big thing. I always do field games and obnoxious camp songs and things like that. That's kind of my, is it weird to say specialty for that? It's not a specialty in what most people think of, but I love to do obnoxious camp songs with kids, so that's what I did. So yeah, that was like 2 weeks of my life that was just all camp stuff, and it was so fun. I was so tired afterwards. So then I came home for about a week, worked on getting school stuff together for my kids, and then we went camping up in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, and it was beautiful. I'd never been up there before. We have driven part of it to get to Canada before, but we'd never like stopped and hung out there. So we went camping there. We went to Lost River Gorge and Bouldering Caves, I think is what it's called. So we got to go through some bouldering caves, and I was pretty good, but there's one called the Lemon Squeezer, and it has like a gauge made out of wood before you even go on the like trail. To get onto the trail to this cave, you have to be able to squeeze through. So I like squeezed through it, and I was fine. I could squeeze through it just fine. But then we got to the part where you squeeze through that, and I like panicked. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It was like shoebox size. It was like this big by this big. And I didn't know how far it went, and everyone was like, you can do it. And I was just like, nope. So I turned around and went out and climbed over the squeezer because I didn't want to do it again, the gauge. And yeah, I was out of there. But all the rest of the caves I did, but that was one that I was like, nope, can't do it. Freaking out. Can't even. So I don't know, maybe another time I will be able to. It was just making my like claustrophobia just like freak out. I was like, I'm gonna get stuck under there, and I'm gonna have to live there, and I hope my arms are free so I can knit, as that will be where I permanently reside. Anyway, it was a whole full-on panic. So yeah, so that was like, that's been the last couple of weeks for me, and lots of swimming. We've done tons and tons of swimming because it's been so hot here. So hot here. So like I said, the fall days are welcome. Ollie started baseball season yesterday, so we're back in baseball, and he's excited to be playing baseball again, and I'm excited for him. My daughter hasn't had anything that she's really doing at the moment. I'll have to talk to her and see what she wants to do. She's kind of undecided and flighty. So she did gymnastics last year, and I don't know if she wants to do more or not, or if she's kind of done with that and ready to move on. I don't know for her. I really don't know what she wants. So, okay, I have been reading books. I just read a crazy one. Have you guys heard of Educated yet? So it's a pretty big one. I think Oprah like listed it as like a book club book. I don't exactly know what that means, but oh, excuse me. But I know that that's a big deal. So it's been on the like bestseller list. It has a bunch of controversy with it. It's about a girl who grew up kind of with a prepper family in Idaho, which is near where I grew up. So some of the places she talks about, or some of the things she talks about, are very similar. And then she talks about how she kind of got out of that, went to college, and ended up at Cambridge and Harvard, and has a PhD now, and has turned out relatively okay. Anyway, it's a really interesting book. Really hard to read. Not hard as in like difficult reading level or anything like that, but hard because some of the stuff she goes through is really, it's just hard to read. And so I would like read it in like long spurts of like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? And then I would have to take a break and like breathe for a while because it was just so intense and so sad. I guess, I don't know, it's sad. So anyway, it's a very good book. So you should read it. And then yeah, that's kind of been what I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of One Day at a Time. I think it's a kind of sitcom-y, family sitcom on Netflix. And it's really good. It's about I know it's a remake, but I haven't ever seen the original. Cuban family, and the mom is a war veteran, and she's kind of dealing with life and coming back to normal, and she has two teenage children, and kind of dealing with family stuff. Anyway, it's cute, it's funny, it's sad. It's not too sad though. It balances out really really nicely that it's not overly sad, but it's really cute too. And so I've been watching that. I've been watching The Flash with my son on Sunday nights. That's our time to get together and watch a movie, just the two of us. So we've been working on going through The Flash, and he thinks that's super cute, and I'm a little bit worried for it to get too adult, but for right now, it's a good one for us to watch together. It kind of pushes that line of too adult and still young enough for him. So I appreciate that. Yeah, cool. But now I'm worried about this one. Is the one I don't know if I'll be able to save because it's a big mess. Anyway, so that's what's going on in my life, and we're getting ready to start school tomorrow. And hopefully everything will calm down and settle down enough for me to get more knitting things done. It's sad that I was gone for 3 weeks and had a hat done. So my socks will be done next time, and I'll start my next socks after that. Not after that. After I finish these socks today, I will start my next socks. So they'll be ready to go. And I am super excited for my next socks too. But anyway, thank you for sticking around and listening to me blather on and on about my life. I just needed to finish that skein, so I just kept talking to you. And thank you for listening. If you like my podcast, can you subscribe down below? And click the thumbs up button if you enjoy this episode. That helps me get more stuff out. Actually, I like to get my stuff out, and I like to have more users, but it's actually kind of like a little emotional boost for me to keep talking to you. So thank you. Bye.